A successful food photograph should enhance, entice, and bring out the best qualities of a recipe and its ingredients. The image should show clearly the nature of the recipe and the quality of the ingredients used. To achieve this, the food photographer uses 5 skills. Camera control, working on framing, composing, exposure and focusing. Lighting, lighting the food to enhance the quality of the recipe and creating a picture style. Food styling, working either with a food stylist, chef, or independently, arranging the food to camera. Prop styling, choosing plates, surfaces and accessories to style and arrange the setting either with a prop stylist or again independently. And lastly, post-production, using photo editing software like Lightroom and Photoshop to enhance the final photograph. We all have strengths and weaknesses in our abilities. Working within a team allows for the sharing of skills. Working independently, all the skills will be used to some degree. Whether you are working on your own or as part of a team, using the key techniques taught in my courses will help you to achieve a successful outcome. We use all our senses to decide how appetizing a dish is, the smell, sight, and even hearing as the food is cooked, plated, and eaten. In a photograph, sight is the only sense which will inform us of whether we think a dish is appetizing. Once cooked, the food is at its best for a short time. It immediately starts to wilt, dry out, and begin to lose colour and freshness. Time is of the essence. Different ingredients will degrade differently. Delicate microherbs, salad leaves, and frozen desserts will wilt and degrade almost straight away once plated. Baked recipes, cakes and pastries, do retain their qualities much longer. Whatever food is being worked on, pre-planning and being equipment ready is important to allow full attention given to the food. Visual techniques are used to communicate how appetizing a recipe is. Those same techniques are used whether a simple image is being worked on or a heavily styled advertising or editorial shoot. When working on a personal project or commissioned story, work quickly once the food is cooked. Plate and arrange from the viewpoint of the camera. If working overhead, then stand above the food as you arrange. If a low camera angle is being used, then position yourself low down as you style the food. Once under the camera, look for any imperfections that can be altered and changed. Wilted, discoloured or damaged ingredients. Brush with light oil or water spray any ingredients that have dried out. Wipe and keep clear any running sauces, oil or separating juices from the recipe. Use kitchen towel, cotton buds and brushes to control smears and running sauces. Choose a camera angle that complements the food and then arrange to that angle. Keep the food loose and full of body, using hands, forks and tweezers to keep the arrangement perky and fresh. The food will begin to sink and deflate once under camera, so be prepared to shoot quickly, make adjustments promptly, and if all else fails, do not be afraid to start again. When reviewing the initial captures, look at the picture as a whole, the overall look of the arrangement and general feel of the image. Ask yourself, does it work? And if not, then look at lighting, composition, styling, and arrangement to improve. Again, be prepared to start again if the initial photos are not working as you planned. If happy with the overall style of the photo, then begin looking at the detail, imperfections in the food ingredients, odd shapes, smears, stains, anything to reduce the quality of the photograph. Make judgments on whether the imperfections can be replaced, improved, or adjusted. Replace with a better looking ingredient, improve with oil or water, and adjust by turning or moving the food ingredient. Take photographs as you go, as often it is easy to overthink and you may on reflection prefer an earlier capture. Know when to stop, being happy with the final result. Remember, the food is losing its quality as time passes, so there comes a point that nothing more can be done to make the food look any better. So be confident knowing when to stop or start again. Plate and arrange food in a loose and relaxed style. Balance ingredient colours and textures throughout the arrangement, avoiding any regular patterns, and try not to overthink as you work. Cooling racks, baking trays, chopping boards can work really well in presenting the food differently. Think of opportunities to create different images. Be creative. Surfaces, backgrounds, and props need to work together and be appropriate to the style you want to create. A clean white surface is not going to work if trying to create a dark styled image. Muted colours and simple classic patterns work well. Avoid brash, loud, colourful props. The food needs to dominate both in colour and arrangement. Good lighting techniques are key to enhancing the image. The look of the photograph is controlled by the lighting and props, working together to create the style. Food looks best when using a soft diffused light. The highlights and shadow areas controlled by additional lighting or reflectors. Avoid mixing different types of light sources. Use a single light source. If using daylight, turn off all the other room lights. If using artificial lights, curtain and screen off any daylight. If using multiple lights, avoid double shadows caused by lights of the same strength angled from different directions. Use any extra lights as key lights coming from the same direction as the main light. I recommend working confidently with one light first before attempting any multiple light setups. For most food projects, daylight can be used very successfully and is a free resource. Avoid any direct sunlight and use a good-sized window away from the sun. The photograph will need to be colour adjusted using an app or computer software. Picture editing programs like Photoshop and Lightroom can adjust the colour, contrast and crop of the photograph. Much more can be done in post-production, repairing faults and replacing colours. However, I recommend working towards the best photograph possible as you take the picture working with the food, rather than repairing faults using software. To conclude, these 5 skills for food photography are used to cook and style the food, in positioning the camera and equipment to light the set, creative choices on plates, surfaces and props to build a story which communicates a style and mood relevant to the project, having an eye for detail and also a sense of the overall picture. Lastly, computer skills to enhance the photograph. The important thing to remember is that it is enjoyable and a fulfilling thing to do. Sharing images of food for business purposes or for personal reasons needs to be enjoyable to be successful. Be self-critical of your work in a positive way, and if an image doesn't work, consider the reasons why objectively, highlighting any of the skills that need working on. I believe we are all creative. We make creative decisions every day. The 5 skills used in food photography are the building blocks to reach your full potential when working on a food project.